House Republicans are still thirsty to impeach President Joe Biden to compensate for their party's lack of policy accomplishments or robust policy agenda. But before we unpack all that, if you haven't yet, please hit that like, subscribe, and the alert bell. Maybe check out my Patreon. I'd appreciate the support. All right, folks, so you probably shouldn't be surprised. I know we haven't talked about it in a few days, and so maybe you were hoping it would blissfully have gone away. But the fact of the matter is, yes, that many congressional Republicans are seeking to impeach President Biden. The effort is jointly led by James Comer of the House Oversight Committee and Jim Jordan of the House Judiciary Committee, but you also have other prominent congressional Republicans like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, Matt Gaetz, and others who are clamoring for President Biden to be impeached. You also have, because I picked on her quite a bit, Nancy Mace, congressional Republican from South Carolina, who pitches herself as a sane, rational moderate. She's so cool. She drops the F-bomb in like press conferences. She criticizes her own party. She's the cool kids Republican, except because she has no spine. She is actually, again, as I've mentioned before, taxonomically categorized as an invertebrate, like so many other Republicans. When she's around or exposed to more radical, stronger personality Republicans, she starts to echo their sentiments. So this is an issue which pervades much of the Congressional Republican Party. I want to turn your attention to, regrettably, Sean Hannity and James Comer himself, again, chairman of the House Oversight Committee. And this is a very short clip, but this is about the predicate to impeach President Biden. Hannity asks about it. Brace yourselves.
And we believe now you have evidence that Joe Biden benefited financially himself, although that's not even what the statute calls for, correct?
I think so, yes.
Wow. James Comer, thank you.
Persuasive, isn't it? Utterly compelling. So, even though the statute doesn't call for like this thing, but now you finally have evidence that Joe Biden financially benefited from whatever they say Hunter Biden did. I believe so, yes. Oh, okay, yeah. This is what I'm talking about. And we've discussed this in previous videos. This is exactly what they do, month after month after month after month. They get called out on it by Fox commentators, Maria Bartiromo, Fox and Friends. People are like, okay, where's your proof? What's the crime? Well, we don't have the financial records. They would probably be the Bidens are too smart. Dementia-riddled Joe Biden is actually too smart for us to find financial records. What do you guys want from me? Okay, well, what's the crime? Well, he received money to influence foreign policy as Barack Obama's vice president. What policy? Stuff like that. That's how they answer, because they don't have evidence for it. Maybe they'll eventually come up with something, but I'm not inclined to give them the benefit of the doubt, and neither should you. Why should we? This is a witch hunt. That's the irony, of course. This is a witch hunt. But now I have to don my glasses. Here's what the reporting says, and this is we're going to investigate this because you have James Comer and, again, a bunch of hard-right, far-right Republicans who want to impeach Biden. But remember, to successfully impeach, you have to get a majority in the House of Representatives. Possible, because the Republicans do have the majority on paper. It's a razor-thin margin, but they're there. But even if you did get all the votes, you then have to get a 2/3 conviction in the Senate, and that's not going to happen. That will never happen. So it will be, unfortunately, one failed impeachment after another. Even the last one by Democrats against Donald Trump, it got close to that 2/3. I think it got like 57 or something like that, or it got close to 60. It was like an unprecedented. Tally. It was a bipartisan vote for the first time. But there's actually no evidence that the Republicans could get that just simple majority to impeach Biden in the first place, let alone a conviction in the Senate. So as the New Republic reports, McCarthy is doubling down on his threat behind closed doors, CNN reported Monday, but Republicans are not unified behind him. There's no evidence that Joe Biden got money or that Joe Biden, agreed to do something so that Hunter could get money. There's just no evidence of that. One GOP lawmaker, speaking anonymously, told CNN, and they can't impeach without evidence. And I don't think the evidence exists. Republicans have inadvertently admitted before that they have zero proof of wrongdoing by Biden, but even lawmakers who support impeachment proceedings don't back opening an inquiry now. Representative Matt Rosendale, a member of the House Freedom Caucus, on Monday called the impeachment inquiry into Biden long overdue, but accused McCarthy of using the threat to distract from upcoming appropriations votes, which could be the case. Besides which, 18 of the Republican Party's majority, 18 members of their congressional majority in the House, were elected in Biden districts. How do you think those districts will react if they move to impeach President Biden without some serious, compelling evidence? They'll probably be punished brutally in 2024 and lose their seats. And they only have to lose five or six seats to lose the majority. So they have, again, very little margin for error. And that's just to impeach him, let alone convict him, which, of course, it will never happen. Not saying that the White House shouldn't take it seriously, but the White House has responded to these comments with some degree of confidence. Through it all, the White House remains steadfastly confident that if the GOP goes forward with an inquiry, one that would center on the Biden family's finances, it will hurt Republicans more than it could hurt Biden. This baseless impeachment exercise would be a disaster for congressional Republicans, and don't take our word for it. Just listen to the chorus of their fellow Republicans who admit that there's no evidence for their false allegations and that pursuing such a partisan stunt will backfire, House spokesperson Ian Sams said this week. While McCarthy spent the summer flirting with the idea of bringing forth an impeachment inquiry when Congress returns in the fall, the White House has been bullish in speaking out against the idea through memos and statements. Aides have name-checked lawmakers such as Representative Don Bacon, who is, certainly compared to Nancy Mace, relatively moderate, who said that there needs to be more concrete evidence to move forward, and Representative Brian Fitzpatrick in Pennsylvania, who said he doesn't want to see the U.S. go down a similar path to that of British Parliament. They also used Mike Lawler, who represents a district Biden won, as an example of someone who has said the GOP is not there yet on impeachment. Representative Ken Buck, meanwhile, has called the idea impeachment theater. But besides that, and we'll conclude on this, there was a recent poll about this matter, and again, I guess I have to pop the glasses back on. Let's see. Where did it go? Oh, that's not good. I just had it, folks. Okay, here it is. Are you ready? Okay, Republicans in the House of Representatives are considering launching an impeachment inquiry into President Biden. Do you think the House of Representatives should have to vote to authorize an impeachment inquiry before it begins or not? So 60% say yes, the House of Representatives should have to vote before even opening an impeachment query, which itself is not impeachment. Do you think that a Republican impeachment inquiry into Joe Biden would be more of a partisan political stunt or more of a serious effort to investigate important problems? 56% say it would be more of a partisan political stunt, and only 38% say they think it would be more of an effort to investigate important problems. Do you think a Republican impeachment inquiry into President Biden would be more about finding the truth or more about damaging President Biden politically? 45% say that it would be more about, 51% say it would be more about damaging President Biden politically, and only 45% think it would be about finding the truth. So 51% say it would be about damaging Biden, only 45% say it would be about finding the truth, okay? Even if no evidence is found that Joe Biden received any bribes or changed government policies in relation to the activities of his son, Hunter Biden, do you think Republicans in Congress should still impeach him or not? 32% say they should still impeach. 61% say that he should not be impeached under such circumstances. And again, right now, they have absolutely zero evidence to support the claim in the first place. So that's where we are, folks. Not saying that it shouldn't be taken seriously, not saying that Biden will just that these political bullets, so to speak, would just bounce off the president like he's a political Superman. He's not. He's still relatively unpopular. We're going into an election season. He should be sober about the situation. But indicators right now are that it would hurt the Republican Party more than it would hurt Biden, which is yet another reason why Republicans should just stop doing it and focus instead on perhaps helping Democrats govern the country.